three core areas. We're going to first look at how to approach the SWOT analysis. Number two, we're also going to look at how to conduct an effective SWOT analysis session. And number three, I'll give you some tips in terms of what to finish up with after you've gone through the process of the SWOT analysis. So let's start. What is a SWOT analysis? Well, simply, a SWOT analysis is a tool that businesses and managers can use to identify potential risks and also identify and see some potential opportunities. It is also used at a strategic level of a business. It can also be used at a functional or a divisional or even a departmental level of the business. It can be used for projects, and also even at a product or a service level you can use the SWOT analysis tool as a method of identifying risks and taking opportunities. Why conduct a SWOT analysis? Well, I've summed it up in these 5 areas. It is a great tool to identify risks or potential risks. Number 2, it's a wonderful way to be able to identify and recognise and take full advantage of any opportunities that the process identifies. Number 3, it can be a useful document if you are presenting to potential investors or creditors or applying for a bank loan or indeed into a business plan. Number 4, it is a great way if you go through this process appropriately and effectively. It's a terrific way to get buy-in from your senior team and other areas of the business, to get them buying in on the ideas and the concepts of potential change. And number 5, it is the hallmark of an effective manager to be able to drive some of these initiatives, clarify your goals, make clear and decisive decisions, and also solve the appropriate problems that inevitably will occur. So what I suggest you do is go back to your senior team and suggest that they consider their SWOT analysis or their business planning in relation to these 2 core areas, and they are external and internal factors. Some of the external factors could be technology, how technology may or may affect your business, either significantly or mildly, but also consider some of the global economic factors that are currently under play at the moment. Consider Volkswagen, for instance, the impact that they've had across the automotive industry, not only directly in that industry, but some of the flow-on industries and businesses that are affected by those issues. Think about what's happening in Japan at the moment with the negative interest rates and whether that has an impact. The national or the international issues of security in recent years with what's happened with Malaysian Airlines and how that can have not only a direct impact to tourism and aviation, but the flow-on effect that this may have to associated businesses as well. Also consider the interest rates, whether your business is heavily reliant on finance and whether fluctuating interest rates may have an impact with you, whether you're doing business internationally and whether fluctuating currencies may or may not have an impact with your business. Also, another thing to consider is consumer and social trends in the marketplace. Is there a trend for this to shift or change? And also consider the broader competitive market. So there's some of the external things to consider. And it's also worth mentioning too, if your business is affiliated or associated with government funding, then one minor shift or a major shift in government policy may have a major impact on your business in relation to your regulatory requirements, any compliance matters that you need to deal with. So consider these things from an external point of view. And we're going to talk now a little bit about some of the internal. So take notes as we go through. Internally, think about your customers, how loyal your customers are, how many customers you have, how much money do they spend with your business, in other words, how much revenue do they generate with your business, and identify the top 20% of customers and what would happen if you lost 1 or 2 key accounts or key customers. What sort of impact would this have? Also consider the products and services that you currently have on offer. What are the strengths, weaknesses, threats and opportunities in relation to those? Another thing to consider is the employees that you have and your HR management systems, your occupational health and safety and workplace health and safety issues, and how you're managing all these resources and currently in the workplace. How loyal are your how loyal are your employees? What type of staff turnover do you have? And measure these things against similar businesses in the same industry as a benchmark. Also, another thing to consider is the health and well-being of your financial status. And so I'd suggest review your cash flow statements, your balance sheets, your interest before earnings and tax, your position of statement, and your statement of position, your EBIT. So review all these things in relation to getting a gauge on how healthy your business is. Other resources: consider your market position, the facilities that you currently have in your offices or your facilities or your warehouse, and any machinery and equipment that your business might have. Also the intellectual property that your business and the people that have with you currently. Your reputation in the marketplace, and the IT capacity also that your business may or may not have. Now again, I've presented these multiple options for you in dot form. Please take what's relevant for your business and brush over what's not. So I suggest when you're conducting your SWOT analysis, and for those that are watching at home, when you're conducting your SWOT analysis, please take those two things into consideration. One being the external environment, and two being the internal environment. And I've numbered a couple of things for you to consider during those discussions. Folks, I want to also talk a little bit about how to conduct a SWOT analysis, or how to conduct an effective SWOT analysis. I've summed it up in these 5 key areas. Number 1 is ensure the relevant people are present in the meeting. In other words, the decision makers, the people of influence are present. Also, I suggest to a lot of clients is to bring in people from other areas of the business. It could be from operations, the functional areas, it could be from marketing, IT, different areas of the business. Bring them in and engage them through this discussion of identifying your strengths, weaknesses, threats and opportunities. Also allows an appropriate level of time. I suggest anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes. Any longer than 90 minutes starts to become a little bit stale, and what I suggest, if you're still gathering information and ideas, is to reschedule another time. Number 3, I suggest treat this session as an information gathering session only. In other words, avoid critiquing, avoid filtering any of the points, any of the ideas and any of the discussion that comes up. Avoid doing that. And number 4, ensure that the points of the discussion is being recorded. Have somebody there present during the SWOT analysis session to capture, write down, note or record what's being said and what's being discussed. And number 5, and I like to, I suggest when you go back to your team, get your senior team together, and I suggest you approach the SWOT analysis instead of starting with the strengths, weaknesses and finishing with the opportunities and threats. Approach it this way. Start it with the threats and the weaknesses to start with. Get them on the table, have them discussed, recognise any potential risks associated with that, and then finish with the more positive, with the strengths and opportunities. And that way people will leave the meeting feeling a little bit more energised, a little bit more engaged, and more likely to buy in and participate with the program. So really, ultimately, we want to finish with 2 things after you've gone through this process. Is 1, either an action plan or project plans associated with any of the risks that were identified, and 2, project plans, action plans associated with taking full advantage of the opportunities that you have identified. My name's Kevin Egan. Thanks for participating, and at home, thanks for watching. I hope you get something out of this program.